How will Hurricane Maria affect Puerto Rico's economy? So, we have to kind of address where Puerto Rico's economy was prior to Maria and say, in the most kindest terms, it wasn't very good. Um, and this is solely due to how the legislation um, of Puerto Rico exists in terms of how we treat it in the lower 48 or the contiguous United States of America. Um, Puerto Rico acquired a lot of debt, and there was no sort of bailout type of packages that Congress could or would um, sanction to allow that debt to be kind of like notified or enveloped into the American GDP. So what has happened is they were tasked with the burden of that debt. Pharmaceutical companies left, tourism suffered, things like that, and there's still, well, prior to Maria, there was still a good amount of tourism there because Puerto Rico is a very beautiful place with natural rainforests and everything else like that. But when Maria hits, that's when you come into a dire situation, what we're seeing playing out currently. This hit to their economy, I would say, would put them on the ballpark of how the international community treated Haiti and has continued to treat Haiti. It's pretty rough right now. So, there will be recovery. I want people to be mindful of how it takes place, especially in the real estate and recovery development, because with the economy already being down so much, it is likely that there will be just free for alls for people trying to scoop up real estate, whether it's acreage, because a lot of homes were flattened, a lot of things have like been totally destroyed infrastructure wise, and I can see a lot of opportunists going down there and just acquiring things, and it may be for the good, but we also have to think that it is just an opportunist, and who's the judge, right? If money's coming in, money's coming in, but it will likely the Puerto Rico we know today will likely not be the Puerto Rico we know in the future, because one, the situation happening with all the current residents, citizens of Puerto Rico, it's so bad for them. A lot of them are going to leave, and what they're leaving is what's important. If they're leaving something that has been totally destroyed, they might not come back, and that leaves a lot of opportunity for other people to just come in, infiltrate, and take that place. So if you think of it sort of how people left Cuba, they left Cuba, they started life over again. If people think that there's nothing for them in Puerto Rico, then you may see a different Puerto Rico in the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah, so I wish that things became more of an urgency with Puerto Rico. But sticking to the question, the economy itself, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for a while, unless they are able to do something like if they're able to like turn it into an ecotourism type of landscape, then you could probably get a lot of tourism back in fairly quickly, because you're not really trying to wow or swoon people with what's the best resort or what's the best sort of infrastructural things that are going on there, because ecotourism really shies away from that. They want to kind of highlight the beauty of the ecosystem, the beauty of the nature that you see, the natural landscape, everything like that. So if they're able to do that, and ecotourism, you could probably do it on the cheap, given certain supplies, because you don't want to be so straining on the environment. So you could probably do it fairly cheap. So if they decide that they want to venture into more ecotourism, they could probably recover a lot faster. Especially given the fact that if Americans are coming, they won't have to worry about visas, they won't have to worry about passports, they could just fly to Puerto Rico. So anything that they do that they want to accelerate has to be done on that level. I had this interesting sort of hypothesis or like idea for it, because given the legalization of marijuana, if they decided they wanted to really increase or accelerate the recovery their efforts and all that, well, at least fiscally, they should legalize marijuana, grow marijuana there. Try not to like upset the environment there, but if they grew marijuana there, they could potentially really accelerate the recovery efforts. A lot of people will come there. You just got to be careful on how you legislate the people, I would say. You got to really be careful about that. Okay, last question. How many cars out of 10 have people driving them while they're texting? So basically, texting while driving, how many cars out of 10 are engaging in that? I would say probably around 4. 40% seems to be too much. 10% would be too much. Maybe even 4% would be too much. But I think it's like this systemic issue where we have to kind of be attached to information, whether it's information via text, whether it's social media, whether it's news, and I'm guilty of it too. However, it's sort of those things where you have to measure what is the most important thing going on. And if the most important thing is you driving a vehicle, maybe 100% of your undivided attention should be invested in that. And so I've been trying to like really stop and only engage in my phone when I'm at a stoplight. And I see other people do it too. And that's when you get all the honking going on, because someone is looking down at their phone and don't realize that there's a green light. So it sucks for the people behind you, but it's sort of better for the person. I guess it's what you would say, it's an improvement. Apple has done something pretty cool in their iOS 11, whereas they put in a functionality for you to, where your phone will kind of like stop working, or you really can't access everything. You have to kind of tell it that I'm not driving. So basically lie to yourself if you are driving. And you can turn this functionality on. It will stop receiving notifications from people, whether it be a phone call or if it's a text or something. And it will actually, I think if you set the settings a particular way, you can actually send a message to someone, say, hey, I'll hit you back when I'm driving or when I'm done driving, etc., etc. So that's a good functionality. I've also heard people doing other things, like Dan Lebatard, the ESPN personality guy. He said that he has put his phone in his trunk once, and that's very smart, because then you have no distraction. You're going basically back to 1993, where you don't even have a cell phone. And even back then, cell phone service was probably something where it's so shoddy that you wouldn't have used your phone regardless. So being tethered to information like this it's a problem. However, it's the problem of the day. It's sort of like the problem of having CO2 emissions or something. It just happens. It's what we're dealing with right now. So we got to find out solutions and make it make it like a cultural taboo for people to do it more. And really, I guess if we shame folks for doing it, they'll do it less. So we'll see what happens. But that has been 5 Gneiss Questions with Dennis. And that's the end of the questions. Thank you for staying here with me, going through these questions. I really enjoyed the questions. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. Also, it would really help if you subscribe, comment, and like this video, as well as check out other videos on this channel. Y'all have a great day. See you later, and come back for our next installment of 5 Gneiss Questions with Dennis.